Alright, we're back.
Yours. Still at
Hey!
her office.
Once again, just double check all that. Yeah. Once again, we're back for Thrushmoor Terror of Pathfinder. This game runs every other week, and we're all here apart from our missing player, who hopefully will be rejoining us next time. I just want to say, for the benefit of the audience, I messed up a bit last session. I made a few mistakes. I'm going to fix them this time, and I'm not going to say what mistakes were. Might put it in the video description or something, but hey. So, when last we left it, you were all in the Sleepless Detective Agency building having I wouldn't say a nice meal, but the fact that it wasn't cooked by asylum inmates and staff with very little culinary training means it's actually probably the nicest meal you've had in quite a while.
Have we had to rest at all sometime? Because I'm down some hit points. Shouldn't be
No,
now. Okay.
it's evening. You've been ferried across from the island to the shore, and now you're in the town of Thrushmoor.
Okay.
And you've been speaking to detectives in the Sleepless Detective Agency, giving them information. You've taken the asylum inmates to New Chapel, where they were taken in by the priestess Trillis Mavane, and she said she'd look after them. And as you gained a new doll, which she swapped her old one for, Virgil, hang on, Virgil is in the brink of like rediscovering where his workshop is. And last session, I let you all know that Cesadia Rents said you could stay the night in the Sleepless Detective Agency. It has since come to my attention that that is not the case, and so one of the detectives on hand will remind her that there's only so many empty rooms, and some are, badly in need of, or like out of order, closed for repairs. There's like scaffolding and stuff in there, and then some rooms are, for members only, and so you guys are going to have to find somewhere else to sleep tonight. Additionally, when you all told her information, because over the course of the meal, Winter Klajka has asked Cesadia Rents about Royal Accuser Amari, who she came to Thrushmoor with, and Cesadia Rents has informed her that Royal Accuser Amari went up to Fort Hale Course, like a couple of weeks ago, at the same time that Klajka went off to the asylum, and Winter knows this, right? But what Winter doesn't know is that Royal Accuser Amari never came back from Fort Hale Course, so maybe she's up there doing admin or something, right? However, something has piqued Ms. Rentz's attention, and she looks across to you lot and she says, "Well, excuse me, friends, if I can call you that, but something about your statement doesn't quite ring true. You say you took the mentally unstable to New Chapel?" And that you left them there,
Yes.
in the care of Priestess Trillis Mavane.
That was the intention.
I find that highly unlikely. You see, Priestess Mavane has been missing the last 4 days, and no one's seen a sight of her. If she's suddenly back there, that's rather suspicious. It should probably be looked into. Additionally, if that's not Priestess Mavane, then the only person in Newchapel would be the artist in residence who visited recently, a certain Mr. Lelwyn Hassock.
Hasek?
Hassock. It's his name.
Sounds familiar.
So it might be worth going and checking it if those people are safe and truly being cared for. And Winter kind of flushes a bit and lowers her head. Her hair falls across her face a little, and you sense that, she's going to be going back to deal with that soon. Ms. Rentz then carries on. I suspect you'll be looking for rooms at the Silver Wagon. It's the only inn in town. Good luck finding one there, though.
Better than sleeping on a floor.
I have a distinct memory that I lived here. Do you know where my house is?
Why yes. You had a workshop. It's not far from here. I'll have one of the boys give you directions. And by boys she means men in their late 20s or early 30s, There's about 5 of them in the Sleepless Detective Agency at the moment, maybe 6. Men and women. Now, before you all go, there is something I'd appreciate your assistance with tomorrow morning. It's a bit too late now. You'll want to be careful. But there's been some interesting goings on at town. Nearby, there's a fisherman by the name of Tolly Remsatter. Old fellow. He's been reporting seeing unusual things, although he might have just been drunk. I'd like to introduce you all to him in the morning before he goes out fishing, and perhaps you could look into what he's seen and see what you can find out. Me and my detectives are busy dealing with other issues in town at the moment. You are aware, I trust, that his lordship has gone missing, departed on a long journey.
I couldn't lie about that. No, not really. Who is his lordship? As a character, do we know who his lordship was?
Oh yes, absolutely. Although I'm just going to refresh my memory. Count Hasserton Lalls IV, your former employer.
Yes, I remember.
You don't remember him at all, but you've been told you worked for him.
That's right. We found some paperwork in one of the offices, didn't we?
Yes. Intriguing. May I see it?
Oh, my associate's got the paperwork, I'm sure. I personally cannot remember anything at all from a... It's very disturbing, that. But my associate showed me some paperwork. Who's got the paperwork to look around?
I probably
Not
have the
me.
papers. Here you go.
I have a lot of the papers also.
Yeah, I think it was Ben's
One of us probably has it.
Winter says, I've looked over it and it all seems fairly genuine and official, but you might like to look at it anyway. And Ms. Rentz nods and says, yes, I wouldn't mind poring over these documents for the next few days. You can have them back afterwards, obviously.
So how many other Gregors are wandering around this city?
Well, it's not a very large town, but it's not an uncommon name. Wow, I nearly messed up there. I nearly said it's not an uncommon name here in Dementlieu, and I'm like, this isn't Ravenloft. Dementlieu is one of the Ravenloft domains.
Yeah, it is.
And, ironically, because it's a very French domain, Gregor would be a not too common name, because that would be more of a kind of like one of the more eastern realms.
Yeah, it'd be closer to Strahd's realms.
Well, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
Barovia.
yeah, Barovia, thank you.
Yeah.
God, I might bring up my Ravenloft books.
And of course, the ironic thing about Barovia is, you know, vampires can't enter a private residence uninvited. Guess what? Nobody owns property in Barovia. They all rent it from landlords, and the landlords all rent it from Strahd. So he can go in any fucking building he wants because he owns the entire place. He's like, you can't come into my home if I don't invite you. It's not your home. It's my home. You know.
Yep. And I have a diseased peacock.
Yeah, that I think he instituted that after the one time he wasn't able to enter a building because it was someone else's property. So he had a horde of zombies rip the building down so the building didn't exist, and then he just walked into the ruin.
Yes, he also had a diseased peacock.
Yeah.
And he was so salty he bought all the land. True story. True story. Not making this shit up.
Diseased peacock, huh? Is that a euphemism?
Only if it's the size of a pea.
Oh, that's bad, Evan.
Well, I had to
Oh.
go PG.
Uh-huh. No, it doesn't need to be the size of a pea, because you know what you can do with it, right?
Not much.
You can pee, for starters.
Probably a lot like
my God.
Toys R Us. It just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I kind of heard about that. That's because of Star Wars
Right in
and
the
Disney,
childhood.
and the latest Star Wars film has killed Toys R Us, basically.
Hey,
Because no
Toys R
one's
Us
buying the new
prices.
Star Wars toys.
Toys R Us prices is what killed Toys R Us.
Uh-huh.
That
And-
people don't want outside.
And all those internet retail companies, you know.
And now the song is useless. Except just to sing it. Anyways, we digress.
Yes.
Although we do have in game we have a doll maker, so he could sing it and use it as his tagline.
There's
It's just
millions
we'll
of
go
something
anywhere.
all under one roof. It's called Toys R Us,
Yeah.
Toys R Us, Toys R Us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Glenn. Hello.
Yes.
During the evening meal, did you mention to the detectives the incident in the alley outside? Or not?
Actually, yes, I would.
Okay. This is strange. This is completely new. They're not familiar with this. And they're interested, and they will investigate it.
Yes, I just have one question. Why do the citizens act like it's a normal thing?
Count Lowell's has been gone for about half a month now. The mayor has gone missing. The soldiers up in Fort Halecourse are acting on strict orders from the Count and haven't left the fort in quite some time. Civil order is beginning to break down. And of course, Priestess Trillis Mavane has disappeared from Newchapel as well. In terms of town authorities, there's not a lot of people left to undersee the running of the township. People are worried, they are concerned, they don't have anyone to turn to, apart from us, and we're doing what we can. But it's not easy. There are a number of different issues that should probably be looked into, and all different pieces of the puzzle, but for now, we're
Is
just
there
working.
any way we can help at all?
She glares at you as you interrupt her, and doesn't dignify your interruption with a response. However, Who here remembers Meg from last week? Yeah, so Meg kind of dips her head and clears her throat and says, "You know, she did tell you she'd like you to meet Tolly Remsatter in the morning." And Ms. Rent says, "Quite right. Indeed I did. So kind of you to point it out for me."
I do have a question. And we ran into one of these beings inside the asylum. Is it a possibility that one of them escaped or has been here for a while? We had an issue with, I think you guys referred to them as doppelgangers?
An interesting theory. Although
we
one
know half the
which...
town could be.
Although, if some form of shapeshifter has emerged from the asylum, that means that I should not trust any of you, because you might be this doppelganger.
It might have been that doppelganger Gregor that was the one that insulted you. Because they said I was sent there, and I don't remember being sent there. I remember waking up outside of the building.
Oh, you were
Supposedly
sent
I was
there?
sent there the exact same time everybody else was.
Yes, I remember you getting on the boat. The sight of you alighting... Wait, no, alighting is getting off, isn't it? What's getting on?
Embarking.
The sight of you embarking into that vessel filled me with great joy. The glassy, vacant expression in your face after our previous altercations, I won't tell a lie, there was a certain degree of satisfaction in observing how low you had fallen, although in all fairness it was probably further than you deserved.
Well, I'm back now.
Indeed you are. Well, as you know, the Stain doesn't offer rooms, it's merely a drinking house. You'd need to go to the Silver Wagon for lodgings, although Mr. Sorensen's workshop might be available if you wish to sleep it rough on the floor with minimal bedding. You might want to try the Silver Wagon first, though. And she smiles ever so slightly.
Wait. You know where his place is. Do you know where any of ours are?
Yes, you all had lodgings up at Iris Hill. The workshop itself is a workshop. It's not really much of a home. You all stayed up on the Count's estate, except for when you came down into town to do business.
I would have to have had more of a home than just that. I lived here. I lived here almost all my life.
Really?
Hmm.
What do you do here?
I made toys.
Ooh, more things with which to better my conjurings. Cool.
Oh, I have made all kinds of weird things. I even made dolls that moved on their own.
I don't need that. I just need something that looks more knightly.
That I can do.
As in
Not
Kira.
really sure what this noble dude had a job for me to do.
And I don't know why he needed a toy maker, so how about you go and ask that question?
Well, I know he needed...
That would have been great, but we don't know where he's at.
I know why I was needed. I'm good with rituals. That's all I can remember. If
Of
that,
course,
or assume.
of course, it could be of the nightmares that I've had at times. Things I've seen that make no sense, geometrically or anything else of that matter.
Well, don't go making any cubes, puzzle boxes.
Oh, you
If I
beat me
do,
to it.
it'll be just for you.
Pandora.
No, I was thinking about the Lumio configuration.
Yep. I was thinking of the worst configuration of all, a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. It's not the worst. Pandora.
No. Pandora's is just what was in the box. It wasn't so much
Mhm.
opening the box.
Yeah, but the opening was, real bad.
I was talking about the puzzle box that opened the gates to hell. Hellraiser.
Yeah. Wait, are you a French toy maker?
I'm Ustalaven. What the hell is a French? What the hell is a Frenchman?
An Andorran, basically.
I am not one of those fluffy swines. They're frou-frou.
Hmm.
I will say, they do make really nice dolls, but that is not...
Shall we go and find rooms for the evening then?
I think we should stop by and check on these people that we have left in the care of somebody that we don't know who. I think
Yes.
these people have been traumatized
Enough.
quite enough that they don't need any more added to it.
Mhm.
I'm kind of worried about the brother and sister.
Yeah, let's go and check it in the way.
That sounds like not a bad idea.
Mhm.
I'm going to... There we go, that's what I need. Now, I have a slight issue here, but don't worry about it. So I'm going to give you all a teleport link.
Mhm.
Enjoy it. Use it if you wish.
No, I won't enjoy it. No, I'm joking. I'll take that one, but I won't enjoy it.
I'm going to take that link,
What?
but I'm pretty sure we're not going to enjoy it.
Mhm. Yeah.
One moment.
Oh,
I need to figure out what kind
son of
of
a gun. I got to pop back.
negative thing I have. I have dexterity damage still?
Yes.
We haven't rested.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, never mind.
Okay, how the hell did that happen? I've just refreshed vision for you all and it didn't do it.
Do you want me to bring Winter Kalashka with me?
No, not yet.
Okie dokie.
Fixed.
Well, it's not fixed.
It might have happened because I remember to bring over Gregor, but I forgot about Lady Catherine, so I had to pop back.
It's
and grab her.
not refreshing vision for any of you. It's very frustrating. Here we go.
Ah, not green, not black. Where's the colour? Yay.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And from what I can understand, this building here would be the chapel.
Hmm.
So you head through the town, you know, late at night. Well, late in the evening, you begin to see more and more of those strange murals on the town walls. It's not really a city; it's too small to be a city, and it's another cathedral. So you see, more and more of those murals of the strange ruined city with the spiraling clouds in the sky above it, that is oh so familiar. And you know what? Yeah, we will let Winter come along because she's obviously very interested about the well-being of these poor individuals.
Unfortunate souls.
Oh, they're really unfortunate. Just you wait and see. As you cross As you begin to cross the bridge from the more north and central part of town, you hear a bit of a clamour and a din up ahead. And there's a large crowd of about a dozen people gathered outside the chapel, shouting and roaring and hurling abuse. And you immediately think that, those clustered within, or cloistered within, if you will, haha, see, an evangelical pun, probably aren't taking this very well. A large man yells, "Just come out, Hassock, you bastard! We know you've been up to no good." And another yells, "Yeah, that's right, we know you've done it. Just come out and own up, or it'll go really badly for you." And there's jeering and shouting from the crowd. It doesn't look good. It also looks like someone is holding the door to the temple shut and not letting anyone in. But inside you can hear cries of confusion and concern. And, yes, he did it! No, I didn't! What, who did what? There seems to be general pandemonium inside. It is not going to end well.
It never does. It never does.
Oh, just you wait until this has to be seen to be believed. But anyway, yeah. I haven't put any tokens down for these yet, and hopefully we won't need them. But hey, if the situation gets out of hand, then we might actually need some. In the meantime, though, this situation looks like it's not going to dissolve itself. In fact, it looks like it's only going to escalate.
I see.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would any of
when
you
all
like to
this-
do in this situation?
While all this shouting has been going on back and forth and everything, I began calling you forth Lady Catherine.
Oh, shit. Okay.
In her ethereal form.
Yes, that will take a while, but you do that.
1 minute. I figured there's enough play back and forth, and while we're walking
Oh,
up towards
yeah,
the door.
absolutely. I'm just... This is going to be very interesting.
I began walking. Jason walked towards the door.
I stand there watching him call her forth because I've never seen him do it. And he always thinks mine's crazy or creepy. I'm just fascinated watching.
I just keep him out in the crowd in case they try anything and interrupt him.
Now, where's the crowd supposed to be at? Outside or inside the building? I wasn't really clear on that.
They're outside. They're kind of gathered out here, yelling at the building. They haven't made an effort to get in yet. No, people aren't exactly like going at the windows with crowbars and bricks and stuff, but they're getting agitated and worked up.
I walked forward to him and tried to speak to him.
Okay, what do you want to say?
What's got y'all all pissed off?
Here! It's that blasted artist! Been going round doing graffiti on all our buildings. He drawed a ruined junk on the side of my barn. Oi!
Yeah.
Says another one. And on the back of my garden shed as well. Crazy silly skies. We know he's done it. And another fellow says, he's the only artist in the village. And all this stuff only started happening after he arrived. So it's gotta be him, hasn't it? Stands to reason.
I see what you mean. I'd be upset if people were doing art around me too. That pansy-ass art.
Yeah, too bloody right. Is a no good for nothing good.
Yeah.
And his mate jostles him and goes,
you know
yeah,
what
you
really
tell him,
helps-
mister.
You know what really helps with the problems of art stuff and like that? Going to the bar and drinking.
Aye. We'll go back to... He does not immediately check the map the same way the GM does. We'll go back to the Stain and get rat-arsed after we've sorted this bugger Hassock out. He's up to no good, I tell you. And from the smell of his
I'll
breath,
tell you-
you think he's had quite a bit to drink already.
I tell you what. I'm such a nice guy. I'll take care of this Hassock guy.
You?
And
You're
you
nice!
get-
You think he knows you. But
What
by
do you think?
sight, if not reputation.
I'll point at Gregor and go, he's nice. He always treats me very respectfully.
One of the men shoots Eric a really dirty look. You think there's unfinished business behind that look.
Mm.
No, I say. We'll sort out this person, and also let's almost spit the words out. That's inside the building. You go back to the pub and wish us luck.
No! We're gonna stay right here and wait until justice has been done. We want to see it's all done good and proper.
Well, fine. Y'all stay here and not get anything to drink. I'll go get the beer then.
But what's wrong with the pictures?
However, at this point in time, there's a cry from the crowd as a ghostly luminescence is beginning to form. And there are cries of, "No! The ghost! It's back! Run for your lives! It's the ghost again!" And they all shriek and run off in different directions.
I'll look in the direction of Gregor and like,
Lady Catherine is there.
oh, that's no big deal.
Shh.
What? Okay, sorry.
Crowd has dispersed.
Pretty much, yeah.
If there's any left,
Now, I'm not sure if that was your intent.
That was my intent.
It might have been to have her go inside the building and see what's going on or something, but no, it
No,
works.
My intent was to pretty much scare the crowd because as superstitious these people have been acting, I figured this would work.
and if any still remaining, just shout boo at them and watch them run.
Hmm.
Well, I think that takes care of that issue. Lady Catherine, can you hide somewhere? I do not think
She
the ones inside the
sidles round a corner into an alley. Well, she glides.
Just be aware in case we need help.
Hmm.
And I will knock on the front door. It is Gregor and the rest of us. The crowd has dispersed. May we enter?
The door opens and one of the hospital inmates, does a very awkward bow, and you are ushered into the chapel where most of the inmates seem to be here. You're not quite sure. Some might have wandered off, go to the toilet, sort out some food or something like that, but you're not entirely sure, and they seem about as organised as you'd imagine. Also, the priestess Trillis Mavane is not in sight. However, the man who is visible is, and wait for it, This artwork has to be seen to be believed. Described in the text as a... Where is it? Because this is just... This is Paizo art commissioning at its very best. Okay? Oh, yes. He is described as a tall, thin half-elf with blonde hair and deep grey eyes. Okay? And I will say this, looking at the picture, he does look thin. I will now place this picture in group chat.
Oh. No terror.
It looks like one of the authors.
Did you notice how his eyes are brown and his hair is a remarkable shade of black?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Either they rewrote that description after the art was already commissioned. There's been some kind of communication breakdown here. So, no. He's like a tall, thin half elf with very badly dyed black hair and badly dyed black beard and eyebrows, but like blonde eyelashes, and it's clearly some kind of fashion statement thing, you know. And like where his beard is shorter around the top, it looks kind of blondish, and it's weird going into the grey because it obviously hasn't grown long enough for him to dye it yet, or it's, you know, grown back a bit after he's shaved. But basically, he looks like a pretentious twat. Yeah, he's got his artist smock, he's got his brush. Also, it looks like someone pissed on him while he was asleep, and he's very angry about it.
It must be that they want you to use your imagination.
Evidently. So, yeah, he's got dried piss on himself, and it's not his own. Hasn't had a chance to wash it off yet. He did experience a rather rude awakening, as you can imagine. And he looks at you and he says, "Well?"
Well, what?
"Oh, thank heavens, you've driven off that crowd. What a relief."
Have you been painting these murals?
"Yes, of course. What do you think of them? Are they good?" And he stands and smiles.
Why have you been painting them?
"Because the priestess Trillis Mavane hired me to paint murals here in the chapel."
And the ones outside the city?
"Oh, I didn't do
Outside of the
those.
city?
No. Good grief, no. The art style's completely wrong. The materials just aren't the same as the ones I've had. Not my work at all. Ugh, I wouldn't lower myself to such a angular, ruinous style. Besides, once I'm done here, I had an appointment to paint a work in the asylum on the island for the administrator Lysandro. I was to go visit her once my duties were done here. That being said, I believe I've seen her amongst this rabble. What are they doing here, by the way? This is most inconvenient. I was trying to sleep.
The asylum is in ruins, about to collapse upon itself, and leaving these poor people there would have caused them undue harm.
In
So
ruins?
this rabble, as you call it, were brought here for their safety.
Well, there goes my commission, I suppose. Well, we can't have these people just lolling about on the streets now, can we? Well, they must be looked after. Although it does interfere with my concentration. I suppose, given that it is an emergency and everything... And he just stops dead mid-sentence and gapes as he begins to take you all in.
What's wrong?
So, excuse me, could I And he just beckons for you to follow him without finishing the sentence, and motions of his head, and moves towards a separate room towards the back of the building.
Okay.
Sorry?
I will
Sure.
whisper to Winter. You might want to see if everybody is all right. And
She
if you
nods
are
and said,
missing
"I'll
help, I'll help you.
I'll start counting heads."
Thank you. I'll do a quick scan. Do I see the brother and sister together?
You do. Mercifully, they are still present. The brother is sitting down in the corner, clutching his lantern, and the sister is standing near him, trying to use sign language to communicate with him, and he's not quite getting it, but he at least is appreciating the effort. He's kind of like, he occasionally laughs or smiles a little bit, but he's still hunkered down very defensively. I did still keep all of their tokens from a previous book and could port them across to this map at some point. So, Lelwyn Hassock takes you to a semi-detached little 2-room building on the back of the place, where you can see he's got easels and paints and what did I say last time about? Okay, Dave Navarro. Okay, don't believe I'm familiar, but in this case he's a fellow by the name of Lelwyn Hassock for some reason. Hassock somehow spelt with one S, although to call him Lelwyn Haysock just sounds wrong.
It's got to be Elven.
No, it sounds more like a cassock, but with an H instead of a C. But which could tie in with the fact that he's working for the for Asmund Church. So he invites you all to sit down among the paint pots and tosses across a bag that jingles with the familiar sound of coin. He says, "There, you saved me from an angry mob. I'm very grateful. I'm sure that will be adequate payment. However," and as your eyes take in the paintings around the room, you see, landscape pictures where he's obviously been sitting out on the shore, painting views across the water, and other fantastical pictures that clearly come from the imagination of a deranged madman or genius. He says, "However, there is this one matter that intrigues me. I've been working on a triptych, and I think you might all enjoy it." He moves over to a large panel. It's almost like one of those folding screens that people would use to get change behind. It's a 3-section screen, and he's got a sheet over it, and he draws the sheet down. And you see that he's been painting he's been sketching and began to paint a scene. There are 3 different ruined cities, each with their own architectural style, but they blend from one to the next. So there's a little bleed over from panel to panel where the style kind of blends and mixes, and there are people walking across this.
Like a tessellation drawing.
No, like a triptych. A triptych only has 3 panels. There are 9 people, walking across this, and they are sketched, and they aren't finished yet, but they are very familiar. There's a short-haired woman in scholarly garb. There's a bearded man with a peacock. A young woman dressed in provocative attire. A man who's followed by a ghost with her hand on his shoulder, as if he is leading her. A young woman holding a doll, and a very large muscle-bound man wielding a very impressively huge slab of a sword.
Lovely.
These individuals,
I,
looking at their garments, their armor, yeah, these are your companions. Wait, no, that's you. That one there, that's you, and that's you, and whoa. And clearly he realised this because he's brought you back to show it to you, and he's very excited.
I grabbed the
cool.
artist by his shirt and lift him up.
Okay.
And I look at him. All right. I know you've seen it.
Hey. Leave him alone.
Right there in the painting. Where is my sword?
I don't know. I've never seen you before.
How did these images come to you?
I can't. Just get his hands off me, please. I barely breathe.
I lower him back to the ground and let him go.
Did you also paint Figment?
Figment?
Yeah, the horse.
The unicorn.
My dear lady, I paint with pigments. Pigment.
No,
Pigment with a
No,
P.
that's what the horse wanted to be called, was Figment. It liked it when I said it was a figment of my imagination.
There's a horse called Figment? No, I'm sorry, there wasn't a horse in my dream. It was a recurring dream I had over many nights, and
Oh, okay.
I felt urged to paint it, and now that I see you, I recognize you all. I can't remember all the details of the dream, but I would be very honored if you would be willing to sit for me so that I could get your features just right in this
Sure.
piece of art.
Sure.
Perhaps
don't
if you could, if we could arrange some time over the next few days, I'd very much appreciate it.
Well, I don't have a place to stay, so I don't mind staying.
Oh, I don't think you'll be able to stay here. No, this is my studio.
Oh.
I got all my supplies here. It's all organised, and it looks like a right mess. But clearly he has his own system of organisation. And then there's all those poor people who are going to have to stay here as well. One came in looking for the toilet, you know. Urinated all over me while I was sleeping. It was most unpleasant.
Ah.
Yes, he does have a bad habit of doing that.
Can Doll stay here as well when we come for the painting?
Of
I'm
course
sure.
you can bring your doll.
And I
I
motioned to her,
wouldn't
and
have
she's
it
sitting
any
right
other
next to
way.
me.
Now,
Okay,
listen,
I have
I'll
a
pay.
question for-
I'll
I
pay
have a
you
question.
each 10 gold pieces to sit for me to paint your likeness.
Okay.
If you're willing, I'll pay you when you come to sit. Obviously,
Looking at the doll, is it her original doll knight, or is it the new one
It's the new
that
one.
he's been seeing? No, I'm
Well,
talking about in the picture.
it's
Oh,
the
okay.
new one, not the old one, and that's interesting.
Gotcha.
He does say, if you are looking for somewhere to stay, there is another building nearby, just across the road, that is owned by the church. It's only got 3 beds, and I can spare a blanket or 2, but there are all these asylum inmates needing lodgings as well. You may need to go elsewhere in town to find somewhere to stay. Terribly sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right.
I will agree to posing for your painting if you will do a favor for me. I'll even decrease the amount you offered me for doing it.
Yes.
I would like you to draw me a wanted poster for my sword, and I point out
Your sword. But you don't have a sword.
exactly. It's missing. I need to
Eric.
find it.
Eric, we will go to the weapons shop and buy you a new one.
It's not the same.
But
it's
it's not my
sword.
sword.
It will suffice until your sword comes back to you.
What
And it's
did you
wandering
name her?
around. It might eventually return.
What did you name her?
Slice.
I'm
Chop.
guessing the
after
scythe,
it.
the scythe is dice.
Surely you can come up with a better name for her.
But looking at these pictures, Raph, and comparing them to the sketches, how closely are they similar? Even though it's done by different artists.
Which pictures?
I have the sketches of the guy from the asylum. of his are.
Not similar at all.
Okay.
Hey,
Just
you know what is similar though?
the cities.
Those murals that are appearing drawn on the walls around town, they are similar to the art style of the mad artist from the asylum.
How?
I got a question for you. The picture of the guy from the asylum, is it close to what this guy's supposed to actually look like?
A little, but he's got the cultist markings and everything all over him to make it quite clear it is him.
I think we killed the one that's actually the artist. That's where the
Hold it,
the
Glenn.
creature came out of.
Hold it. There's a howl outside in the streets nearby somewhere. Inmates begin panicking. Alright, carry on.
Move action looking through.
It
Lady
sounds
Catherine.
familiar to the one you heard earlier.
Looking through Lady Catherine's eyes. I just close mine and I start looking through hers.
Oh,
You
Go
see the dark, cloudy evening sky, the town itself, the same fog there was before. You don't see whatever might have howled, unfortunately. Although she does look around obligingly, so you can look in different directions.
I'll go outside.
The howl is probably off in the distance. Please be careful going out by yourself.
I'm not by myself. Doll's with me. As the doll gets up and walks out with me.
I'm done.
Wait,
Into this child
so the
anymore.
doll gets up and walks out back through the chapel with all the asylum inmates who freaked out the last time they saw it. Guess what? They don't react any better this time. In fact, many of them run out of the building into the fog.
It's not the knight this time, though. It's the woman.
Yeah,
They've
that makes it even worse. They're even more scared and confused now.
Oh Jesus!
God damn it.
I will go help Lady
Hasek
Winter.
leans on a hand on his chin and says, "Fascinating. To think the doll can move. I'll look forward to painting that one."
Oh, also, look. Is that damn dog in that picture?
You're not sure. It might be lurking away at the back there, scurrying along behind in the shadows. It's hard to tell because it's still in sketch form, but it's quite final sketch, but it's not a finished piece yet, you know.
Don't add the dog.
It is hard to tell.
And I will go help Winter with calming the people.
Mm.
And hopefully,
Well, she's trying to round up people who've run away and calm them down, and eventually, you know, she says, "Look, I'm just going to stay here and try and look after these poor people and help sort things out. If you lot want to go and find somewhere to rest." She probably doesn't say "you lot" for starters as a member of the clergy, but she says, "If you could all find yourselves lodgings, I'll see to it these poor individuals don't suffer any more at the sight of unnatural creatures walking brazenly through their midst."
And about that time, I come carrying one of the runoff people, literally just carrying them, not trying to calm them down. And I says, "I know what you mean. I tell you, they're coming after us." And that girl seems to be in cahoots with them.
The fellow you're bringing back, he's in his late 30s, dark hair greying at the temples, and he's gibbering about a ghost that he's seen.
Where'd you see this ghost?
And he just points towards the door.
Which door did he point towards?
The main entrance to the chapel, the one you brought him back in through.
Try to go see if I can find the ghost.
Okay, let me ask one simple question. Are you going to put him down and leave him behind before you go looking for this ghost, or are you actually going to like carry him out there with you?
So
Bearing in mind that he's already freaking out about it.
I'll hand him to Lady Winter.
Okay. You go outside, turn left, look round the corner in the alleyway. There's Lady Catherine. She gives you a slight little polite wave.
Okay. I know her, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's a ghost.
It's Gregor's ghost.
Oh, it's a ghost.
I ain't afraid of no
normal.
ghost.
Have you seen the I ain't afraid of no goats variant? Oh yeah. It was a 118 advert a few years back.
Yep.
As long as
Anyway.
it's not those things from out there coming to try to take me away.
Hee hee ho ho, haha.
Lady
If I
Catherine
found-
beckons you over. Yeah, that's right, Glenn. Eidolons and phantasms do get to do things on their own sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, she beckons Eric towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally, Eric gets this feeling that he's been in this kind of situation before where it was late in the evening and a woman in an alleyway was beckoning to him, but he gets the vague feeling that last time it happened, she was rather more tangible. And it probably led to a rather different kind of experience altogether.
I'll wave and then continue walking back towards the door.
She rolls her eyes and lets you go. She's not going to follow. She's got no reason to go out into the main road there right now. So you head back inside.
I haven't seen her. Sorry about that.
I'll just lean against the outside of the building and wait for whatever's causing the problems, because my character's usually pretty clueless.
Evidently.
After it seems like she has it under control, I will wander outside.
Well, it's going to take at least sort of 20 minutes, half an hour before she's got everything under control.
Oh Jesus, that bad.
Well,
Hopefully.
yes. When two people with like glowing eyes and brightly glowing stuff on their faces walk through
Just
a
my
crowd
eyes.
of escaped mental health patients, it's probably not going to end well, especially when it's the second or third freaky thing they've seen today.
Yeah, plus they've been drug out of their nice, safe asylum to this place.
More importantly, they've been dragged from their nice, safe asylum where they were doped up to the eyeballs with drugs on a regular basis, and now they aren't getting their medication. Although, to be fair, the medicine wasn't necessarily doing them the best, because it was just a case of drug them up so they don't do anything, because it could be bad, sort of thing. There's a distinct lack of modern medical healthcare research in Galarian, because it's not that modern. However, more people are beginning to insist they saw the ghost, and they didn't even leave the building. Although you don't necessarily believe some of them. Some are the kind of compulsive liars who just confess to everything because they get off on it and stuff like that, It's very confusing, but yeah, it's going to take quite a while before it's settled down. So anyway, what were you wanting to do if and when things settle down, and are you still willing to stick around until they do?
It looks like she has it pretty much. She's handling it quite nicely. I will wander out there if she still needs help. I will stay there and assist her with these individuals
Oh, that's great.
because they are our responsibility. We are the ones that brought them here.
Hmm.
And my form of help is to drag them kicking and screaming back to the lady.
In that case, Scott, while you're out rounding up individuals, you do come across the form of an elderly gentleman in a hospital gown. Just mutilated, brutally savaged and very much dead at this point. Down in some back alley. You think he's one of the ones who ran away earlier. But something got him, and it does not look pretty.
Am I close to the church?
Relatively close, yeah.
I step out of the alley and do that two-finger whistle thing. It's supposed to be
Okay.
high pitched and loud, trying to get the attention from the church.
Oh no, you're not that close. You'd need to go a bit closer.
Okay.
But yeah, people inside, you hear a shrill whistle.
I'll move closer and into the whistle.
Hmm.
I will head that direction.
Okay, you
Sound like
head
there's
through the
trouble.
mist, and you find Eric standing there waiting. What
Well,
was that,
what's-
Glenn?
I don't know if Lady Catherine can tell me about this yet.
Well, you could always ask her.
Well, no, I mean, if she heard the whistle, she might inform me someone sounds like there's, an issue.
She doesn't,
Oh, okay. So I'll just
because
continue what I was doing because I'm inside the building, so I probably wouldn't hear.
Yeah,
the
I know.
whistle.
okay. She doesn't inform you because the shared senses doesn't include a telepathic bond, at least not yet, anyway. And it
Yeah,
has
I
to
don't
be
think-
activated,
That level yet.
personally.
to Speak with her.
Repeat what you said, Glenn.
Oh, I said I don't think she has the ability to speak with me yet.
No.
Yeah, she can speak all the languages you can speak. It's just that she's
Sure.
outside the building and you're inside, and she's, hiding in the alleyway outside. So Evan,
Yeah.
as you approach his Eric in the mist,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do?
Hey, Eric. You called?
Damn it. I was hoping for one of the other ones.
Are you saying that?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh. Well, okay. I'll go back and get one then.
That would be helpful.
Do you want me to,
Look at you suspiciously.
well, I can't leave Doll here with you because she has to stay within 50 feet of me. So, well, I'll send someone back. Hang on. And I quickly go back to the
Oh, God.
go back. Hey,
Uh-huh.
Gregor.
Okay, people
Gregor?
shriek and panic as you open the door
Jesus!
with your glowing face.
I run over there. What?
I went to see what the whistle was
I'll
about, and
Run over
Eric
there and
needs
close the door behind me so nobody can see her.
Good
Eric
idea.
needs support, and he didn't want me, and I told him I'd come back and get somebody else. And well, you're the only one's name I've taken the time to remember. And you're kind of tall and dreamy.
Fine.
You can do rituals just like I do, So it's like you
See
understand.
Virgil go.
I don't know, they are outside the building and he did shut the door behind him, so you might
Okay.
not react to that.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
And you can do
I thought
rituals
this
like
was
I can,
good.
so you understand the plight and the pain that I have to go through. So, Eric's in that direction, through the fog. I'll wait here. Have fun.
I'll open the door.
Now, Glenn,
Yes.
Gregor does know that if he heads over to in the direction Eric's in, much further, Lady Catherine will disappear back to the Nether Realms and need to be summoned again.
I'll have her accompany me when I go that way.
Are you sure that's wise, given how
Yeah,
how on edge the town is at the moment?
maybe not. Oh, shit. I will stick my head in. Lila, Virgil.
Yeah.
It seems that
Oh, that's their name. I'll be sure to write
Eric
that
has
down.
run across something that needs our attention. So I will be heading that way. If you wish to accompany me, that would be very helpful.
Blasting attention, I swear.
I don't know.
I will have to go.
Ulna says, "You can write it on my arse." In a tone of voice that implies she's not entirely sure she knows what writing is.
Right. So, anyway, as charming as that sounds, I don't actually know what to go and say to this. I genuinely don't know what to say to that.
Well, it was a response to what Azure said.
Mhm.
Wasn't a very clever response or witty, but it was a response technically.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
I'm going to start heading that way quickly. And I'm trying to get as far away from her as possible, because she just really now just creeped me the hell out.
Alright, so when it comes to investigative adventures where subtlety is required... right, so are you bringing Lady Catherine with you or leaving her behind?
I will have her return to me.
Okay.
It's easier, it's safer that way.
Yeah, she returns back into your consciousness and you head off through the mist and find Eric standing there with his hands on his hips waiting.
Yes, Eric, what seems to be the problem?
I found a dead body. Or at least I
Anyone
think
we know?
I didn't check. Some old guy in the hospital uniform.
Okay.
No. Hospital gown, like the asylum's inmate uniform, not like a staff uniform.
In the inmates' uniforms.
Oh. Okay, take me over to them, please.
Take him to the alley.
I look around in case there's something needs blasting.
Yeah, in the alley you discover the dead body of one of the older asylum inmates. He's one of the ones you rescued earlier, not one any of you got to know very well, but he's one of the ones who ran off from the docks the original time when the Doll Knight appeared, and he's managed to make it all the way over here somehow and perished in an alleyway. He looks like he's been savaged by some kind of vicious clawed beast with claws and teeth, and he looks like he died a few hours ago, not too recently. However, it does not look pretty, and maybe scaring them all the time and making them run off is not such a wise idea if things like this could happen to these poor people.
Okay, Raph, I'm going to cast detect psychic significance.
His face is a mask of terror, if that's any help. Yeah, sure.
Because I think
Which
that
book is
helps
that in?
me with-
Occult Adventures.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's Occult
great.
Adventures.
Of course it is. The one I'm not too familiar with yet.
Mhm.
Got it. I think I know. I'm just checking what information that power will give you. because I know roughly what I'm going to give, but I'm just checking, what parameters.
I think that one gives.
I mean, basically, it's like detect magic for psychic stuff, but it'll be like emotions
Yeah.
and things like that as well.
Yeah, detect physical significant items in your vicinity.
Okay,
Psychic
yes.
imprints or historical,
Hold
that
on.
type of stuff.
Right. So his hospital gown. You're getting a strong sense from that, a sense of safety and security and feeling like, this was his, his identity was beginning to become that. It's like, I wear this every day, I like it, it makes me feel good. This was a comfortable thing. He was, frequently accustomed to being in contact with, and yet, now, it feels filled with horror and shock as it's been ripped open and his blood soaks it. But there's that long lingering feeling of comfort and safe and sort of being at home.
A comfort blanket, in other words. Like a child's comfort blanket.
Many of the stones in the walls and the floor of the alley reek of fear and something else as well. A kind of sense of a sort of irritation almost, as if his death was not, it wasn't planned. It was just like he blundered into something or stumbled across something or it bumped into him. You don't think it was an ambush so much as a chance encounter. And the irritation isn't his. It's from whatever killed him. Seemed to be sort of frustrated and annoyed to have, got into the kind of situation where it felt it necessary to bring about an end to his life.
Alright. I am going to cast Sanctify Corpse on him,
Good idea.
just to be on the safe side.
Isn't that a second level spell?
Mhm.
First level spell, actually, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, because you're on
Oh,
a
it is.
6th level list, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a first level spell, Sanctify Corpse.
Okay. Yeah, so I was thinking of the other one, the preservation one.
And then after that, I will scan the area, seeing if there's anything else left laying around, or check his body to see what type of slashes these are, and if they were made by something that might resemble a straight razor or a slashing type weapon, or if it was made by natural.
Make me a heal check. Because while you, the player, and I, the player, would think of that, you, the character, might not be that knowledgeable in regards to wounds and men.
No.
Oh, no. You. Yeah, it looks like it was done by damage. Damage is what inflicted the wounds on him. You're not quite sure what kind of damage, but looks like a pretty lethal kind. Looks like kind of raking blows rather than like, like a frenzied stabbing and dragging and chopping.
Well, I will wrap him up in my blanket, winter blanket that I have.
Oh, that blanket might not be much use after because of all the blood that will soak into it, but I fully appreciate it.
I'm not having a problem with that. And I will... Eric.
Mm.
In our wandering around the church, did we see a back door to this place?
Probably not a back door, but a side door. You know, like a lot of churches and chapels, they'll have like a little side gate about 2/3 of the way down one side. Like, is that the nave? I can't remember.
I can't remember. It's like a cloister.
It's near the nave, but yeah, up near the back. So yeah, sure.
Okay, if you will carry this individual to the back, I will get Lady Winter. Maybe she can give him some last rites and everything else, and we will. Maybe she can look at him, and see if she can figure out what did this. I am at a loss, but we cannot leave him laying here like this. Even though he was crazy, he was still one of us.
I'll grunt and then bend down and pick it up and start walking
Glenn?
back towards the
Go to
church.
the back. Door.
Glenn.
Yes.
Gregor hears inside his head Lady Catherine's voice say, because he was crazy, he was still one of us. And he's like, damn it, woman.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I can agree with that. I can't argue that fact. She's actually right.
Well, yeah, I mean, you all came from the asylum, and pretty much everyone in there was crazy. Well, most of them, you know. Well, maybe some of them weren't. You know, like the staff, and some of the inmates weren't as crazy.
I don't know. The staff seems pretty freaking nuts to me.
And you're missing a big chunk of your memory as well, you know. Oh, that reminds me, actually. Captain Vostin York of the Asylum Security has been helping Winter get the patients settled down every time they panic, you know, so that the ones who were acting as guards in the shrine in the asylum have been acting to try and help keep things organised inside the chapel.
Makes sense. I will, as I enter in, I will motion for. I will go. Virgil.
Yes. So,
Miss Winter and Lila.
Yep.
Hmm?
If you will follow me, we have an issue here.
Winter
And I
chews
will-
the corner of her lip a little for a moment and then follows.
I will go to the side door and kind of let him in, and we'll kind of go to a separate room real quick.
So the side door opens and Eric emerges bearing a
Beer.
body wrapped in a blanket. If it's not a body, it's big enough to be a body, and it's probably a body. It's not like there's a foot sticking out or anything.
And quickly take them into. If there's another room off to the side, take them into there.
Yeah, there is. And Winter mutters, oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's,
personally cannot tell what attacked him, but I think it was one of the ones that escaped from us.
I see. If you'll leave him here with me, it is the duty of Erasmus to see that the dead go to their rightful resting place, and I'm sure I can at least do that.
Sanctify the corpse to Pharasma before we moved him.
That is much appreciated. Thank you.
Do you know what did it though? I didn't see anything nearby.
I didn't see anything either, but it looks like, from what I can glean from the area,
So,
this was not an intentional
mm-hmm.
attack. It wasn't an ambush or something. It seems like our poor unfortunate individual kind of wandered into whoever did this, and
Looks like quite a frenzied attack by the injuries. He seems to have a problem on their hands. Yet another problem, I should say.
yeah, plus we still have missing individuals, so
Maybe the two are linked, unfortunately, that may be seen.
yes, but I personally think it is time to try to get some rest.
Mm-hmm.
And since certain individuals seem to cause undue reactions
Mm-hmm.
to these people, I think we all should head to the inn that they
Mhm.
recommended
Yeah.
and stay there the night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that'd be the Silver Wagon, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And try to get some rest.
Probably safer there. I'm sure I could do some rest.
Yes, and I think we should double up or triple up.
Would
Mhm.
you like a a teleport link there? Because I can provide that, you know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get
There
room,
you
get room
go.
for 3 people. Girls in one room, boys in another.
When you come out of the building to head that way, you'll see I'm the only one standing there, and my eyes aren't glowing, and Ulna's a little doll in my arms.
We are going to get some rest.
Okay.
And head to the inn.
Well, so you you trudge through the foggy town
Mm-hmm.
this evening and make your way to the Silver Wagon, where there's light in the windows, there's sounds of a bit of a crowd in there, and the door is open. You hear the chink of tankards and the murmur of conversation. You can see the warm firelight flickering through the windows. It looks like a fine, welcoming place.
Is this the drinking establishment or the?
This
the
is
actual
no.
place?
This is a multi-story building. You know, it's got an upper floor, which overhangs out on the front with windows, and this is the inn. There's an inn sign, no words, just a picture of a silver flagon because it's the Silver Flagon.
Okay.
And the crowd inside seem to be having a jolly good time.
Go in the front door.
Awesome. You open the door, stride in, and the middle-aged woman behind the bar looks up from cleaning a mug and says, "Oh no, not you again. You're barred. Out! Get out, all of you!"
Why are we barred?
Out!
We're gonna walk back out. Apparently, we can't go in there.
I'll walk in. I guess, was he the only one that walked in, or did she kick all of us out?
Well, he walked
said
in.
all of you.
None of the rest of you followed, but
Oh.
Okay, I'll walk in.
she looks at you and says, "Yes. What is it?"
I need 2 rooms, please.
"Oh, you do you? I suppose your friend's going to stay here with you as well, is he?"
I will pay extra for him to be able to stay here.
Extra? It's not about paying extra.
What is the issue with my friend?
Well,
I'll walk in.
last time he was here, he ran up a very large bar tab.
How much is it?
One moment. She reaches for an old slate behind the bar, picks it up, looks at it, and says, "At the last count, 39 gold pieces and 6 silver pieces. And when I last asked him to pay, he started a bar fight."
And the damages are going to cost...
Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to ask for that.
Okay.
Fortunately, most repairs have been made already, but got a bit of a problem, see? The crowd's beginning to murmur, you're getting dirty looks and nasty. And she beckons you over so that you can, speak in hushed tones and not attract so much attention.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, there's a man in town, name of Eldrior Nasmith. He's gone a bit funny in the head recently, going round with a placard telling everyone that the end times are coming and the world's going to end, and he's seen it, and it's scaring the punters. It's not good for business. Listen, you persuade him to calm down and keep his mouth shut and stop hanging around the drinking establishments in town saying all this bad something. Look, one family's already left town on account of his nonsense, and is bad for business. If you pay the bar tab and go take care of Elgir Nasmith, and I don't mean hurt him or anything, right? If you do that, then I can let you stay here tonight.
I'll walk in, go up to the barkeep.
Says, what do you want?
Me and my 2 female friends, we'd like a room, please.
No, you're barred.
Why?
After that punch-up a few weeks back, forget
What
it.
punch up? What punch up?
Out! She
We will
rolls
take
her
care of
eyes
that.
as Azure
Pouting
kind of
at
turns and heads for the door.
I will get him to pay you the money that he owes you.
Too right you will.
What's a punch up?
Who is she asking?
The other 2 as I'm walking out. I've never heard the term, so. Really, I've never heard the term.
I don't even know how to begin to explain.
It's a physical altercation involving.
It's a fight.
Yeah.
Generally involves punching. It's a common term.
For you,
Not here.
Not here. We just say it's a brawl.
I imagine as an American you'd say like a dust-up or like a punch-up a bracket or something, you know.
A dust-up, I know.
Yeah, but that doesn't
know
even
what a
make
punch-up
sense, so
is.
you're just going to get a bit dusty. You know, a punch-up, you're getting
Right, a
walloped all over the
punch-up.
place, everyone gets some great big thumping, you know.
We
Yeah, I happen to
we generally
know
just
that.
say bar fight or brawl. But the punch
No,
up
no,
is
a brawl involves like a significant amount of people, you know. A punch-up can be just 2 or 3 people or leading up to quite a big crowd, you know.
You remember, a lot of us here in the States, we just go by a generalized term for almost anything.
Yeah,
So-
that's still weird. It's like saying something's quite nice, as opposed to being completely nice.
Yeah.
Or utterly lovely or something. It's quite nice. Only quite? Good grief. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, you got yourselves a bit of a situation here, haven't you? And you can sense some members in the crowd giving very nasty looks as you head back outside. But once you do
Alright.
get outside, the conversation inside begins to pick up again, and people inside seem to kind of cheer up a bit again, and the tension is easing up.
If a family left town, why don't we just go take the family's house and use it?
Eric,
Mm.
you ran up a huge bar tab when you were last here of almost 40 gold,
Yeah.
and you caused a fight to avoid paying it.
Sounds like me.
Oh, she didn't say he caused a fight to avoid paying it. She said that when she asked him to pay it, he started a bar fight. It may have been unrelated.
Well, I'm just saying he caused a fight to avoid paying it.
Yeah.
All right. I do know that you have some income. I will help you pay for half of it, or if everybody else wants to chip in, we can get that paid for. Now we need to go speak to an individual because there were repairs that had to be done to see if we can get him to stop talking about end of times and scaring off people and ruining business. Did you happen to tell me where the guy lived?
I don't
Nope.
recall doing any of this stuff. I mean, if we've been in the asylum all this time, then
This
There's
is
no
before
reason-
we went to the asylum.
I look like I'm about to say
I don't
something.
remember it.
Stop.
Okay.
She's the one that's crazy, not us. Jeez.
So, there's a gentleman walking around that has a placard on his chest that basically says the end of times is coming. We need to talk to him about not doing this around the bar.
Or the town.
Well, she didn't say anything about the town. She just said not around the bar.
She said not around the drinking venues in town, implying there's more than one of them.
Oh, joy.
And you did hear people in the crowd outside earlier talking about going to have some drinks in the Stain afterwards.
Well, that's right. So yeah, we're gonna have to stop them from doing that or him around the drinking establishments.
Michael.
Yes, I just got back. What's up?
Perfect. So you might want to take that teleport link for starters, for yourself and the Peacock. So Virgil, from his memories of having grown up in this town, knows that there are two drinking establishments in town. There is the Silver Wagon and the Stain. The Stain is a bar, like a drinking salon, whereas the Silver Wagon is a inn with rooms to rent. Now, you have all, in your absence, I wasn't aware that you'd stepped away. You've travelled...
I said I need the beer.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just letting you know what you might have missed. So you travelled to the Silver Wagon, where you've discovered that you're all barred because Eric ran up a bar tab of almost 40 gold and started a bar fight to avoid paying it. And you're not going to be allowed to rent rooms there until you pay off his bar tab and go deal with a fellow by the name of Elgrior Nasmith, who you don't particularly remember, who's been going around town telling everyone that it's the end of the world coming, with, you know, and he's been hanging around the drinking establishments scaring people with his deranged rantings, and at least one family has already left town. And she said if you can sort him out and persuade him to kind of put a sock in it and to pay off Eric's bar tab, then you'll be able to rent rooms at the Silver Wagon. Oh, the Silver Wagon, not Silver Flagon. Right, yeah, different picture on the bar sign outside. It's a picture of a... It looked like a flagon, but it's got wheels, and it's just a very badly painted wagon. Still silver, though.
Okay.
So I hope I brought you up to speed there on what's... Oh, did you know about the dead body of the inmate they found in town outside? One of the ones who ran away last session, who was scared by the Doll Knight.
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, so you were around for that. Okay, so yeah, that's you brought up to speed. Anything you'd like to do about the situation?
I don't know if I could do anything.
Well, you could tell them where the stain is so they can find it.
Oh yeah, it's over here. It's over there. It's me, Mario.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's helpful.
Okay, what you doing?
Start making my way towards the Silver Stain to see if we can find this guy.
Keeping an eye
Or
out for the way.
Stain.
Keeping an eye out in case this horrible creature tries to ambush us.
More
Also, I'll be
pictures.
keeping an eye out on alleyways to see if we see any extra of those murals.
More pictures going in the Skype chat, and that is an impressive-looking walrus moustache. That's not walrus moustache, is it? That's a handlebar moustache.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So, you arrive at the Stain, and you can see why it's called the Stain. It's kind of like a blot on it. So you head down past the healer's house, eventually to the location of the Stain. You're not quite sure why they call it the Stain, but it is a pretty filthy building. And when you arrive there, there's a dishevelled man outside in, dirty garments with, placard board on his front and back declaring that, the vanishing is returning, and he's calling out, "Doom is coming! The second vanishing is upon us! Pray for your salvation that the Briarstone Witch does not take you!" And the barman, Emmon Goulston, there is saying, "Now, come on, can't you just pack it in? People are just trying to enjoy a quiet drink here." He said, No, I must tell them. The Briarstone Witch is coming. We're all going to vanish again. I've seen it. I've seen it with my very eyes. Oh man, that's making my throat dry.
What's the
What is the guy? I think everybody knows that in the town now because we do your evangelism very well. And surely one of the other towns needs to know the coming of impending doom.
You!
Mm-hmm.
Of course you'd say that. Of course you would. It's true, but it's not, but it is. Ah, I know your games.
I'm not playing again.
You could be agents of a witch sent to trick me.
Who's the witch and what's the vanishing?
Mm-hmm.
The witch... It's the vanishing! Look, hundreds of years ago, the Briarstone Witch made the entire population of the town vanish. All gone. And when the authorities came, there was nobody left. Just an empty village. And now she's going to come back and make them all disappear again. I've seen it. I've seen it in my dreams. I've seen her rising up from the bay, all wicked and reaching over and plucking people out of their houses with her wicked long nails and spiriting them away. Oh yes, the Briarstone Witch is going to come back and take us all away.
But are you sure it's this
Briarstone
town?
Witch doesn't do that because she usually has her assistant help her in that matter.
And how would you know about her assistant? Unless you are that very assistant yourself. Aha!
No. Actually, that's where you're wrong, sir. I would never claim to be that gentleman. Number one, he carries a very large razor, straight razor, and I do not.
Oh, yes! Yes, he does! Yes, he does! Yes, he does! Yes, he does! Then again, did you know the barber in town has a very long straight razor? Maybe he is her assistant.
I hate to break the news to you, but I reach in and I pull out the straight razor. This is the razor that belonged to him. He's no longer with us. We removed him. So she has lost power over this city. I think it is time
No.
to go to bed.
No, you didn't. He reaches out and snatches for it. I presume it's not open at the moment.
No.
Yeah, so he snatches at it to get a closer look at it.
I'll move up and let him look at it.
There's a small blade out.
It could be.
I have not opened
Yes,
it.
it's not open yet, but you can still see it. You're starting to feel very uncomfortable. This could be his, but I doubt you killed him. He's very powerful, you know.
Who says we aren't?
I do. And so does the witch and her assistant. I'm sure they say you're not very powerful either.
I really do think it is time.
Look! I'm not the only one who knows about this, you know!
I think it is
Other people know what's going on. I've seen it. Strange lights in the night. Things in the fog. You won't fool me with your denial of facts.
Then why haven't you left town?
Because I have to warn people.
But
then
that
you
puts
have-
your life in danger.
And that's the brave sacrifice I'm willing to make.
And people have been warned.
But more people must be warned. I must tell everyone.
Yeah,
Then
and
why
when-
do you go to the same spot every day telling people when you've already told them?
I don't go where people are. I go where people go. And people go to the Silver Wagon. They go to the Stain. Sometimes they go to the market.
You're not allowed to go in there and drink anymore, are you?
I'm allowed to drink if I want to. But I choose not to. It is with a clear mind that I present my facts And facts are evidence. It's not just the way I feel, it's for factual evidence that I saw the Briarstone Witch in my dream, which means it must be true.
But surely everybody here knows about the facts, but other places may not do because they have not heard the good news. Well, the important news that you have to tell them, because you are a prophet, and the prophets need to travel and tell everybody. You've been here, so everybody knows. Surely elsewhere you know now.
You're right. Perhaps I'll go and tell everyone at the Silver Wagon. But what if more people arrive here after I've gone, and the people who are already here don't tell them, and some people leave? I need to stay here all evening.
No. I know some people who don't know about this that you should probably tell. They're over at the church. I think you should go tell them.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, give it a church.
They've never heard this before.
No, they haven't.
But because these people are such a
I'm counting that as a support, by the way.
skittish group of individuals, we have to take some safety precautions with you. So please come with me, and we will set you up for this.
What manner of precautions?
There's a dress code for being in there.
Truly?
I
Yes,
don't like
truly.
it myself. It's not very flattering.
Yes, I actually have the items needed for it.
Really now?
Yes.
No, I don't think I'll go there. Look, I'll go over to the Silver Wagon for a few hours.
No. These people are new to the city. You said you gotta tell everyone in the city. These people just recently arrived, and they need your help.
Well, I
They
suppose
said
that's
about this.
true.
And you said if it was in a dream that it was true, and in my dream you were at the church talking to them. Love.
You dreamed, did you? Ah, but what if your dream was given to you by the Briarstone Witch herself as a trick to trick me? Aha! I am on to her. I know these games.
I don't know anyone named the Briarstone Witch.
Everyone in Thrushmoor knows about the Briarstone Witch, apart from babies. Some of them might forget, or not remember yet, or not know. But the witch will come, and you'll all know when she does. When she sucks you all away and you're all gone.
Raph?
Yeah?
What if you are the Briarstone Witch?
Yes, Glenn? Those are some terrible dice rolls, by the way.
Yes, I know. I use this wand that we have. Now I have a question. If I don't have access to the spell, but it is a wand, but I am a caster, do I still have to roll a UMD, or can I?
Yes.
It has to be on your spell list.
Got it.
Not your spells known, but your class spell list.
Then let me look and see if that is one of on my class spell list.
Oh, it's that wand, is it?
Otherwise, it's a DC 20.
Would I be correct in assuming this is the wand with the pointing hand at its tip?
Yes, it is.
Go ahead. Oh, that's fun. I like that.
I'm going to command him to get into the dress code.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which I still happen to have. A
Talent,
straight jacket
dress
and a
code?
hood.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the yellow stained bed sheets.
No, I have a straight jacket and a hood.
This
my
might take a
character,
lot
I
of
kept
persuading, but okay.
It's a wand of command, and regrettably enough,
You're making me look up numbers now.
I do not have the spell.
Oh dear, so that would be a
DC 20.
use magic device. Yeah.
And I don't think I have that as a spiritualist. I would have checked with the other spellcasters if they have access to command, like the witch and the I can't remember damn Pagoni's character's name.
Virgil?
Virgil and Lila, if they can use it.
I
Not
say,
this one.
I can't use it, but I point at the doll and go, she knows how to use sticks. I'd have to recall her, though.
No, that's good. Oh, I
Yeah,
genuinely
right in front of the
magical
bar.
device.
Good call.
I don't mind.
Works.
Yeah. One moment.
Of course, all crazy people have high will saves.
Yes! Alright then, if this is what I must wear, you'll have to help me with these straps. They're a bit difficult to do from the inside. And the
Yes,
buckles
I
as well.
There,
And
we'll
he
put 'em
takes
on
off his boards and does his best to get into the straitjacket.
Help him with that. Just tighten this bit up here, because it looks better with this tightened a bit. How
Mhm.
does that feel?
Oh, that
good?
feels superb. Wait, what am I doing? Hey!
And I put the hood on him and start walking him to the church.
Okay, so you walk him kind of mumbling and muffled, yelling through the streets towards the church. It's late. You do hear window shutters twitching and the sounds, like shutters closing suddenly after someone's had a quick look and stuff like that, but you never quite catch sight of them.
Take the two boards and turn them to face each other so that they're unseen. Bring them with us so that we can just give it to the tavern for firewood.
Mr. Gulston says, "Thanks a lot, you're doing us all a great favour here. Probably not the best way of dealing with the situation, but appreciated."
If I by any chance have any tavern problems, would you please take it out of us helping you all out with this?
He chuckles. So I'll bear that in mind.
Okay.
Listen,
Now that we have him away from
listen. When you're done with him, come back here. I'll give you all a round on the house.
Okay.
I go and pick the guy up and start walking towards the church.
Mhm.
Guess we're not moving fast enough for him to get his drink.
You do manage to get back to the new chapel without any horrific incidents. Interesting.
That's the guy yelling at us the whole time. Put me down.
Well, he's trying to, but he's got the kind of mask hood on, so he can't make too much hassle. Oh. I need to check something.
While we're on the way back, turn to Gregor. So, why do you think I'm creepy? Hide behind Gregor. That's creepy.
That didn't come from any of you.
Did it come from the guy in the bag?
Nope.
Start looking.
Sounded
Yeah.
kind of distant.
Look, I know I shouldn't, but I really want Ulna now.
I'm just checking how distant. Oh, very distant. Right, you see this map here? It's like way over here somewhere.
Close
Whereas
to the
you're
church.
like beyond the church over that way.
Okay. Okay.
I'd say, based on the description, it's gotta be this house or one right out here that isn't on the map.
Yeah, well...
It sounds like angry shouting and moaning, but it's very muffled and very distant. Whatever it is,
Okay.
it's a long way away, and it doesn't sound like the howling you've heard a couple of times previously either.
shoot, we gotta go back to the church and investigate the damn priestess and where the hell she went to.
Maybe it's her.
She wasn't in the chapel when we showed up.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's take this guy to the chapel. Who wants to go look and see what that sound was? Or who wants to go to the inn, pay off his debt, and take a nap?
Sounds interesting, that second one.
I'll go.
You're
I'll
not
go
going
if
by
you want me
yourself.
to.
Alright, I guess.
I won't be by myself as long as I don't have to listen to you complain about Ulna.
I haven't said a word about Olna.
Well, then I'm going to step over here and call her out again. Because you guys keep wanting me to put her up. And that's just tiring. You know, just a bunch of meanies.
I'm back.
Well, you get to the chapel, you deposit the gentleman to a rather confused Captain York and less confused and more understanding Winter. And what are you planning on doing after that?
Investigate the noise, as you imagine.
Me and Ulna and whoever else is with me is walking in the direction of the sound.
After we deposit him and give Winter a quick rundown, and I think she understands why, we'll go investigate the howling.
Alright. So,
Once
you...
I'm down an alleyway, I will call Lady Catherine out. Just for
That
moral support,
makes
if nothing else.
quite a bit of sense. So you head off to a rocky outcrop on the extreme end of Thrushmoor's easternmost island. And there you see an abandoned house, and you hear howling and moaning coming from it, and it all sounds really horrible.
Get up near the door to go into the place. You go, "Did you stub your toe?"
Okay, we're going to have to stop there. Well done, Evan.
What?
We're going to have to
She's
stop
scared.
there.
She's-
We're going to have to stop there. I'm going to have to prepare some kind of map and some other stuff, because this is one of those like ancillary locations which the GM needs to detail a bit. Wasn't expecting you to go right there, but that's okay.
Well, we were all kind of going there.
And given the way you just walked right in there like that, and what's likely to happen, I am going to have to do a bit of preparation for that, and because I don't want to like half-arse it. However, while that does bring a rather abrupt end to the session, and it does mean that you people still haven't managed to rest, I do hope you've enjoyed this session, brief though it has been.
Yeah, pretty
I don't understand why I get pointed as the one that's like the one for fucking up everything every time.
You walked up to the abandoned house with noises
We
coming
were
out
all
of it,
walking up
opened
there.
the door, and walked straight in and called out.
I never said I opened the goddamn door. I said I walked up to the door and said, "Did you stub your toe?" Never said I opened the fucking door.
You didn't need to open the
Calm
door.
down.
Just calm down, because, as I said, I'm going to need to do a little bit of preparation for what happens next.
Okay.
I do have experience for people, which I can give out now or next time. I've just put it on to the tally for future, because I know someone's going to... Yeah, you'll all receive it. It's just that probably when you rest, actually. I do. So yeah, bit of an odd one. An interesting session. What do you guys feel about the current state of the town, the things that are going on? How do you feel about it? Are you enjoying the role-playing opportunities? And
Yeah. My character still thinks it's a dream because it's a bit weird, and as though she's not been pulled out of it yet. Reality hasn't set in.
hmm,
So
Okay.
basically, a bit of so running a bit of denial at the moment. Until the first fight and people get hurt, then she will realise that it's real. People are really getting hurt, that sort of stuff. So at the moment, until violence has happened, she has no reason to think it's anything but dreamland.
Interesting. Anyone else?
I'm trying to take. I feel like he because of the way the background and everything else, he's taking the people here, the insane asylum people that we brought over. We brought them over. They're our responsibility to make sure they're taken care of, not hurt. And then we have weird shit all over the place following us of the supernatural, and it's just like, oh, this city needs to be just, I don't know, a large priest come through and bless the whole goddamn place and consecrate it? I don't know.
And some of that
You know.
weird shit following you isn't even stuff that you summoned.
Yeah.
Ah.
You
Okay,
know, we
well, I
need like a
think
storm
I'll wrap
giant
this one
priest up
here
our
and
ass
just
that'll bless the place.
well, unless anyone else would like to chime in before I end the
my
recording.
character doesn't have many thoughts. He's just kind of going with things. He's still worried about his sword and where it's at.
Oh,
And
thanks for reminding me.
He's worried about Evan's character being in cahoots with those outsiders.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll say bye for now, and we'll pick it up next time, definitely. In the meantime, though, it's going to be Dragon Age next week as usual, and then we'll be back to this one again. Hope you all enjoyed the session. I'll say bye for now. Anyone want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.